When you know, you know. What's going on, guys? Uriel Kane here, CEO and founder of Healthpreneur. And today, in this episode of #Winning, I want to share an interesting reminder that I think will be very useful for you. And this actually comes on the back end of a conversation I was having with our mastery clients just the other day. So I am a firm believer, and you might already understand this, but whether you apply it might be different, that the best coach that you have is your gut. It's your intuition. And our clients, and we're talking about some of the wins, and they both said, I fired my sales manager, and the other one said, I fired my client success manager. And those sound like odd wins, but I'll share why they are wins. So for context, I'd had conversations with these two clients for the better part of 6 months around these two individuals. And it was just cool to see that they had to go through a process where they eventually realized what they already knew. And I asked them on the call, I said, how long, when you hired the person, how long after did you know that they were not the right fit? And in both cases, it was very quick. Yet they let the person stay on their team for a long time because they thought things would get better. They thought they could skill them up or coach them up, or maybe they would change. And I have a lot of optimism for people, and I believe all of us can grow and learn 100%. But I'll share something with you that I think is really important if you want to save time. With respect to advertising, I often say good ads are good ads right away. Bad ads don't become good ads. And if we take that context with people, it might sound actually very depressing. It might sound like you're saying it, no one can get better. Not quite. What I'm saying is if you have someone who's in the role and you right away know that this isn't a fit, well, guess what? It's not going to get that much better. And I'm sharing this with you having hired hundreds of people over the past 20 years. And I was the guy who avoided having hard conversations of, okay, maybe this will get better. Maybe I'll just give it a couple more months. And I'm telling you, every single time, not once has this deviated. When you know, you know. And when someone is not up to par with what you want in terms of their performance, their standard, etc., it's not going to get better. They're asking me, well, what are your thoughts on, should I give them a performance improvement plan? I'm like, no, performance improvement plans are ridiculous. It's just delaying the inevitable. Performance reviews on a quarterly basis. Screw that. You should be having performance reviews on a weekly basis with your direct reports. Now, again, if this video is a little bit advanced for you, just stick with me. I'm going to bring this back to a very basic level in a second. You should be checking in with people every week and ensuring they understand where they stand. Like, hey, you're here performance-wise. I need you to be here. There's a gap. How can I best support you to get there? And also, if we keep having these conversations, there may not be a position in this company for you. You have to be very, very real with people. And it's not about being an asshole. It's not about being cutthroat. It's about being honest. Because you're going to pay for someone's salary who's very mediocre for how long? For forever. So they're going to grow maybe on your dime. It just doesn't make sense. So I'm sharing this if you come back to the gut instinct. When you know, you know. Think about this, people aside, team building aside. When you look at something for yourself, do you overanalyze? Do you deliberate? Do you procrastinate forever? I'm going to venture to say, and I understand everyone has different decision-making processes, but I've also recognized something interesting. I was asking our team this. We've had tens of thousands of sales calls over the years. And I was asking our enrollment team, I said, how many, just top of mind, how many overly detail-oriented people who needed all of these questions answered ended up enrolling with us? And they're like, oh yeah, there's that one guy, and that's about it. And I'm a big fan of looking at patterns. I'm not talking about making judgments or prejudices. I'm talking about pattern recognition. So here's an example. For you, in a discovery call, if someone is asking, you have the call, they send you a follow-up email afterwards, and they're like, I have all these questions I want answered, very detailed. What's the percentage of macros in the meal plan? How many calories am I getting on a daily basis? What percentage of protein? It's a disaster waiting to happen. Don't even bother answering. They're never going to enroll with you. I can tell you time and time again, heavily detail-oriented questions like that come from people who are looking for 100% certainty before they take action. And there is no amount of certainty you can give someone like that to appease their lack of belief in themselves their lack of belief in you or their lack of faith in just the process. So I share this with you from a decision-making perspective because great leaders, and I've noticed this as well. If you look at, I'll just give you an example, Howard Schultz, former CEO of Starbucks. When he wanted to end, so he was considering bringing Starbucks to Japan. And his whole leadership team was, it's not a good idea. It's like, please, Howard, do not do this. It's going to cost us a lot of money. It's not a good idea. At the very minimum, let's get some expensive consultants to do market research, to come up with all the data so that we can make an informed decision. And so Howard was like, okay, do that. So they hired a bunch of expensive consultants to do all this research in Japan. They came back with a 300-page report on reasons why this would not work. It's like Starbucks would not work in Japan. And what Howard said was, thank you, we're doing it anyways. And what happened was when they launched in Tokyo, it was the biggest success in Starbucks' history. And Japan, to this day, is still one of the most profitable and biggest markets for Starbucks. How did that happen? Howard felt that was the right choice. How did he know? How did he feel? Based on experience. Here's the thing. The longer you've been doing something, the better your intuition gets. And the more you trust your intuition. So great leaders have this common trait where they make decisions, they learn from them. And listen, like, what's the worst case scenario? It doesn't work out. In the context of Starbucks opening in Japan, that's a major worst case scenario. That's a very big endeavor. But you making a quick decision, investing in yourself, buying a course, joining a coaching program, in the grand scheme of things, it's a drop in the ocean. It's not like you're opening up 100 stores in Tokyo, and if it flops, it's a major catastrophe. Now, relative to your situation, it might feel like that, but it's not. And the only way you're going to get better at making decisions is by making decisions. When you know, you know. I often tell people if I'm speaking with them or if they're considering working with us, I'm like, listen, you're an intuitive person based on what you said. And so based on my experience, it's either a hell yes or it's a no. Or it's a hell yes, but you're a little bit nervous. Which one is it for you? And most people will tell you it's a hell yes, but I'm nervous. And that's where everyone dies. In the mediocre middle, in the maybe land, in the land of average. Because the hell yes is like, I don't know what this looks like, but I'm going. No is like, I know what this looks like, and it doesn't resonate with me. Cool. It's a yes or it's a no. Don't live in maybe land. This house that I'm shooting this video from is our house in Mexico. We purchased this land, sight unseen, off a sheet of paper over Zoom. And a lot of people think I'm crazy for doing that, but it's been one of the most incredible processes over the past 2.5 years. And I'm going to be shooting more videos from this house to continually remind you and inspire you of what's possible when you actually believe in yourself and have faith and just make a decision. Meanwhile, there are other people that are still deliberating and they're thinking. And while they're thinking, they're losing out on property around this area. While other people like me know it feels right, and we go. And great leaders trust their gut. Getting attacked by a fly. They trust their gut and they take action because they understand that you never lose. You simply learn. And what's the worst case scenario? You lose a bit of money. You can always make your money back. But the bigger thing is you can never make your time back. And every day, every week, every month, every year that goes by, you keep deliberating, keep thinking about this, you can never get that back. And that's the biggest thing that should scare the shit out of you, is just make the decision, listen to your gut, and go. The other thing I find interesting is when people say, like, I'm an intuitive, like, really feely person, but I need a week to think about it. You literally just said, I'm a feeling person, but I need to think about it for a week. That doesn't even make sense. If you're an intuitive person, by the way, all of us are, then you know right away. Intuition is an instantaneous feeling. It's that intuitive hit right away, you know. The difference, though, is dissociating that knowing from your mind, your reptilian minds, and the fear. Yeah, but what if? What if it doesn't work out? What if I lose my money? What if I get scammed? What if? Who fucking cares? Listen to the true coach. Not me, you, internally. That will always give you the right answer. And the key is understanding the following. One of my previous mentors, Dan Sullivan from Strategic Coach, famously says, fear is wetting your pants. courage is what you do with wet pants. A lot of you guys watching this are sitting in wet pants. And I love you guys and I appreciate you guys. But my goal here is not to console you and give you tissues. No, it's to say, I don't care if you've soiled yourself. Get up and move. Go. Do the thing you're afraid of. Because you're not inspiring anyone by playing small. Oh, like I'm going to wait a year to get some stuff in order. I'm going to get another certification under my belt. I got to get my program ready. I need a couple more months to do some market research. No, you don't. All of that time is deliberating the inevitable, which is you moving through pain and dealing with rejection and dealing with uncertainty. You're going to have to do it anyways. Might as well start now. I want to share the most important multiplier that you have access to help you grow your business significantly faster than anything else at your disposal.